right, welcome back to the Unnamed Podcast. I am Andrew.
I am Shannon.
We are driving again in the same clothes if you're watching on YouTube. So,
And oh yeah, what about your clothes? What'd you forget this morning?
Shannon has forcing me to go to the gym at 5. I wake up at 5:30. Got a towel. So I did not shower this morning.
And his car is nice and clean, but now it's gonna smell.
It's not really as clean as it was because everyone was dirty when they got in it on Saturday. But
it's good times, good times.
Yeah.
So we go to the gym on. Shannon doesn't force. Shannon encourages.
That's right.
Everyone to have a healthy lifestyle, work out, eat good, wake up early, be refreshed.
It's just accountability. It's not forcing. It's just,
Yes, accountability. So we work out on Mondays and Wednesdays, and then no one will go with me yet on Tuesdays and Thursdays to Orange Theory from our little Planet Fitness group, but one day maybe. One day I'll get them there. Anyways, so today we got to visit one of our flips down in Shadydale. And this house was built in 1901.
Yep.
It's got, why are we stopping?
I forgot to drop off the lights.
Oh, we're going to go back to Shadydale. Look, this is perfect. Golly. So the 1901 house. So it's
built in 1901.
It was built definitely in 1901. It's built in like 3 parts, kind of. So it's like 3 different sections. It's very strange. Lots of settling. So when we bought the house, like here's the center, and then there's this side and this side. Both of the sides are going like that.
Yep.
So for those of
in the middle, that kind of.
For those of you that are just listening, you can't see all my hand gestures.
That's true.
Basically, the outsides are settling outward. So we had to jack up the house in lots of different places, jack up the floors in different places, add HVAC because it had no central heat and air.
Yep.
So we added that. We rearranged a little bit. It's hard to do a lot of moving of walls in an older home like that because of how they're built. But anyways, we did some moving of things. We added a closet and
gave the laundry its own space.
Yep, made a laundry room instead of it being in the bathroom. And then we made the secondary bathroom bigger, so it's a full-size tub and sink and toilet. Yeah. So it's been a project. It's been fun. But on this one, what makes it very unique is we actually had a consumer, a buyer, that we were not able to find a property for in their price range. And everyone knows in 2020, 2021, 2022, Georgia's the housing market went through the roof. Prices inflated a lot. And a lot of people thought that was going to come back down. However, we're here in 2023 and they have not.
Moving into 2024, it's supposed to go up.
Yep, and going into 2024, we're expecting another slight increase, especially as interest rates start to balance out, level out. Mm-hmm. And anyway, so we told this consumer, hey, we could buy a home that's much under your value and rehab it to make it livable and nice, hopefully get you some equity. So we found a property. Do you remember what we purchased for?
$115,000.
$115,000. So we purchased this house for $115,000, and then we are spending probably $100 to $120,000. He's going to take the lights in. We're back. Oh, I could probably show you for those of you that are watching on YouTube. I'll show you from the car though, as the car is going to make a lot of noise because he left the door open. There we go. So this is our little 1901 house. You can definitely follow the progress on one of our YouTube channels at the real estate office. But So basically, we'll end up putting 100 to 120 in it when it's all said and done, new roof, landscaping, everything. And then the consumer, our buyer, will be purchasing for 285. Because of the type of loan our buyer is in, we will be giving closing cost, and that's roughly going to be, you got that? It's roughly going to be about 10 grand in closing costs for him. The type of loan that he's going to be using is a USDA. It is something that we have here in Georgia. I'm sure other parts of the country as well, but it's more for that rural area. I cannot say that, but anyways, the rural market. And anyways, so this consumer is thus far, I believe, extremely happy. Once we are done, we are seeing that the value of this property will be closer to 320, 325, which means our buyer, who we went under contract with at the time that we contracted to buy this, he will have like almost 40 some thousand in equity, which is amazing for him. I had one of our partners in another business ask me, like, hey, are you okay with that? Like, you're leaving money on the table. And my answer is yes, because think about the people that we were able to employ for the flip and the contracts, that all the contractors and everything. Plus, we're going to make a decent amount of money where we try to stay in that 10% rule. So if you can, if you sell something for 285 or 280, you want to make 10%, which is 28,000 or 28,500. So if we profit that, we're good, right? There's no need to be greedy. We are able to provide a service to our clients that gets them. That was loud. He just slams the doors. Anyways, so we're excited about this project. It is almost done. When did we purchase?
July.
I think
like July 4th, close to it.
We closed on this around the July 4th time. We should be selling it and closing with our buyer mid-December. So, was it August?
We went under contract in July.
And then closed in August.
Yeah.
So August, September, October, November, December. So roughly a 4.5 month flip project, which is decent. So yeah, that's
probably could have went quicker if we would have stayed on the contractor and kind of.
Well, and we had some additional hiccups.
That's true.
So I would say in general, something that when you get into flipping, people don't have contingencies laid out. And I think we did really good on this one. We had a good buffer in the funds, and we also had a good buffer in the time.
Yeah.
So, because things are just traditionally delayed and cost more. Just always kind of plan for that if you're going to do any of these like flip projects. So anyway, so that's the Shady Dale project. That's Andrew, his first project with me, like officially.
Yeah.
We have another property that we have a renter in, but this is the first one that Andrew got to be fully invested in, like coming out here, working with the contractors. You loved it, right?
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
We need to put insurance on the house.
We closed without insurance. That is a big no-no. We could have like left that property. It could have caught fire, and we could have been just $115,000 in the toilets.
Could have been, but we weren't.
So we got insurance on it after closing.
As well.
All is good. So anyways, another project. Let's tell them about the Rome project.
Rome.
This is why we started our company, NSA. Noah, Andrew, and Shannon. So we just started a little company to buy and hold. So we're going to use this company for our rentals mainly. So yeah, tell them about Rome.
So
Rome, Georgia.
Yeah. We found a 6-unit, 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom property up near, kind of near the school in Rome.
Near a hospital.
Near a hospital and near the downtown area. It was $315,000. I think we were under contract for, or 310, something like that. It was right now. It was getting about $4,000 a month when all units were rented out. So it was kind of like a really good property to buy. And so we did all of our due diligence. We paid for the inspection, we paid for the appraisal. All that costs like $4,000 because appraisals on a more than 4-unit property have to be commercial appraisals, and so those are pretty penny. So we did all that, and then we ran title, and the property that we're buying is encroaching on like 4 other properties. So
and we find this out, what, 2 or 3 days before closing?
Yeah, literally.
So our title agency, our attorney, they use a title company. In Georgia, it's an attorney closed state, and then they hire the title companies to run title and all of that. The attorneys then review and make sure everything is good. Thankfully, we had an amazing attorney on this one, Michelle over at Edge & Kimball, and she was like, this is a hot mess. So basically, the 6-unit apartment building, it's single story, so it was just one long building.
Yeah.
And then the way it's set, like you would turn and go up like kind of the driveway, and the whole back was like basically a parking lot. And definitely interesting, let's just say that. So part of the actual building was on one lot, the rest was on the lot we were quote unquote getting. The driveway was on another lot, and then most of the parking lot was on another lot. So there was 4 encroachments, 4 different parcels. It was a cluster. The person that bought it right before us obviously didn't have title ran. I don't know what they did. Sometimes when people buy in cash, they skip steps because they can. Still not wise. So we ended up trying to get them to get everything fixed. They couldn't, wouldn't, whatever, and so we terminated. But we're definitely always looking for like quads, and anywhere between 4 and 8 units would be nice for rental. So if anyone knows of any, send them our way. But anyway, so that was a mess, and we ended up losing, I guess, about $4,000 to $5,000 through inspections and appraisals and all that. Yeah. So then we found a property on Lake Sinclair.
Yep.
And how much is
that one? Our purchase price is $215,000. Our reno budget for that one is right around $225,000. We're saying.
Yep.
So with holding costs and everything like that, we're looking at like $465,000, $470,000. But the ARVs on it are like $850,000. So that one is a very promising endeavor. We're supposed to close on that end of this month, and we'll get started on it.
And that one had a hiccup because we actually went to the closing table, signed everything. We have a hard money lender on that one. So the hard money funds, let's just say, did not arrive during the business hours. We went out to the property after closing, and the lot next door, which was owned by the same person that owned our lot and our house, he is under contract with that other parcel to a wholesale company. And this wholesale company is ripping them off. It's unbelievable. That's a whole podcast in itself, these wholesaling companies. Not all are bad, but this one is definitely shady. So what they've done is they've tied up the property, they clouded it so we can't sell it to anyone else. They've somehow put it on the market for $95,000. They promised to pay him $70,000. The day that we were closing, they were only giving him $42,000 without seeing the contract, which our client cannot get their hands on. We don't know really what they can and cannot do. Yep. So long story short, they had a survey done which showed our property was encroaching on their property. Now,
it's not recorded.
It's not recorded.
So we've never seen the survey.
We haven't seen it. We have talked to people at the county, people at the city, the prior owner, the owner before the current owner. So there's a lot of moving parts. But at the end of the day, with the ARV being so high, we will most likely be able to sell this in the 800s. So the risk, it's basically worth the risk. So we were able to not close that day to give ourselves some time to do some more research. which we spent a lot of time doing. We're actually having a survey done. We'll have that survey in tomorrow, hopefully, which will be Tuesday, and then hopefully closing before Thanksgiving. And then we'll start that project. So,
I think learning more about the county really is what kind of eased our heads a little bit, because like just learning, hey, Putnam County is basically, if you have stuff built before these, before the
like new setback rules and
all
that.
that, one of the ordinances, you're kind of fine, right?
Yeah.
Like we don't even know because when he built the house, they don't even have record where the septic tank is. Now, the septic guy's been out there, he's seen it and cleared it, but the county records don't even have that we have a septic tank on our property. So it's like a weird, older county, kind of rural. So it's kind of like laws don't apply as once you get further from Atlanta, you kind of do what they want. So.
Yeah, and that's something that I would also advise flippers. Start with easy areas, meaning not your city and not your country.
Right.
You want to kind of be in like the suburbs. You're going to have the rules are going to be there. They're going to be clear, and everyone's going to understand them. But they're not going to be like overly. They're not going to be difficult. Overly ruled. Yeah. They're not going to be like crazy. If you go into like Decatur, DeKalb, like some of the by the city, the rules become ridiculous. Even in Hapeville, where I built, if you're building new, the rules are ridiculous, so difficult. They look at the properties around you to decide what you can and cannot do. It's crazy. But if you are rehabbing a property, it's much easier as long as you keep your base, like the footers, as long as all of those stay intact, then it's considered a flip. Which then you don't have to follow the same rules. So really know the areas that you're going into before buying. This is where I think a lot of people give up on rentals or on flips, because you've got to have the research done before the property becomes available. If a property becomes available, you don't have a lot of time to make like research and dig in. You've got to move. If a property is available, like the one that we made an offer on another property last night and then rescinded that offer, but we basically had 3 days to kind of do research on the Ackworth area, kind of the comps, what's going to be allowed, not allowed. That's a lot of pressure.
And direct the area, like, hey, what's new around here? And we can't really do that because we were in the mountains all weekend, so we couldn't really do that until yesterday.
Right.
So then it's just like having to do all that.
Yeah.
Within 4 hours.
Yep. So know some specifics about some areas that you're interested in. So then when a property does become available, you don't have to spend the time on that kind of research, would be my advice. Even though we don't take that ourselves either. We find a property, we're like, let's go look at it. We looked at a house in the mountains, which we rolled out, but if we had to make a decision on that quick, we would have been like, what do we do? How do we do it?
Well, you're building in Blue Ridge, so like, that's kind of a different.
And I am building in Union County, which is, we have learned so much. Like, I am telling you, as a real estate agent, I will not buy in an area that I am not familiar with without a real estate agent that is familiar with the area. Now on our flips, a little bit different, but the mountain home, so different. It's been a learning experience for sure. So, okay, so that's, let's see, Shadydale, we talked about Rome, we talked about the lake house. Winfield, okay. So we put a property under contract. This was a distressed property, means that they were going to lose it. They filed Chapter 13, and they basically need to get out quickly, or at least have the property sold.
Before the end of the month.
Before the end of this month. So we put it under contract this month, right?
Yeah, last week, right?
Last week. So we put it under contract in November, and we will close in November. And that one we're also using hard money for. And it will be a quick flip. It will be paint, carpet, flooring.
Redo bathrooms. I mean, redoing the bathrooms was probably going to cost, because cabinets are in good shape, so we're probably just going to paint them, new countertops. But bathrooms, going to tile the shower, stuff like that. That's what's going to probably take the most time and money, other than paint.
Yeah. So we'll close on that this month. We're letting the sellers stay there for 30 days.
Yep.
So then that gives us time to get Shady Dale closed. It's good for the sellers because they don't have a place to go just yet. So they will stay there 30 days. We'll close Shady Dale. Then we'll start on Winfield and hopefully have the Southland, which is the lake house, both of those going at the same time.
Yep, same GC too, so
Yes.
hopefully he can.
Yeah, we have the same general contractor for those. So, oh, what's ARV if people don't know?
After repair value.
So, so when people, especially you'll hear it a lot on the wholesalers, they'll say, hey, the ARV on this is blah, 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 blah. Make sure that you are running your own comps or have a real estate professional that is helping you with those comps, because we get stuff from wholesalers all the time that talks about the ARV and it is so inflated. And typically their repair rehab cost is underestimated.
Do the exact opposite of what you should do.
Yeah, so when you're going to buy something, you need to overestimate all of your repairs and underestimate the ARV, what the value is once you're done, what you're going to put it on the market for. Another area I see people mess up on flips is they won't count their holding cost and they don't include the cost to sell the property. Remember, in most cases, you're going to use a real estate agent to sell that property, which you're talking anywhere between 5 to 6% in our market to list and sell that. So make sure that you are calculating that in your numbers, because that will kill your profit if you are not.
Yep.
So let's see, what else? What do we have any other projects?
No, not right now. I mean, we tried to buy another house for $50,000 in Forest Park. That was just more like a family thing. Didn't work out. They wanted to sell it to their family.
Yep.
Instead, which is all fine.
Yep.
Kind of probably only until Shady Dale closes. Kind of probably don't need to buy anything else, but it's kind of one of those. If we see a good opportunity, then we'll jump on it.
I would say it's been kind of funny because we don't actually. You're supposed to turn here. This is fun. We made it.
Going hot.
I don't know. The commute is whatever this
it's commuting.
it's definitely
Commuting.
I even set your phone up right here for you to see the map and everything.
I mean, we're good now.
You're welcome.
We made it.
We did. So I would say with most of these, it's not like we were actively looking really at any of them.
That's true.
So
they kind of all fell into our lap.
they really kind of did.
Well, this one is the Shady Dale is the one that we did book 4 and 5.
Yeah, and I explained that situation while you were unloading lights, but definitely that going to find a property for a specific person is probably the easiest in the sense of not easiest. It's feels the most reliable because you're 90% closed when you buy it, right? You still have the headaches of flipping it and making sure they're happy and all of that fun stuff. One thing that we did was with our contractor, we did not allow the buyer, so our client, to have really any input in what's going on at the property. We said tans or grays, pick your color palette, and we let them decide if they wanted a closet or not in the master bedroom, because older homes, they don't really have them. We weren't going to do one. They really wanted one.
Which was an additional cost.
What?
Which was an additional cost that we're just eating.
It was an additional cost that we're eating, which is totally fine.
Yeah. Especially since we're giving away $40,000 of equity.
So maybe some people are a little bitter about all the equity.
I'm not bitter about it. I just think it's I think when you have something that's like a sure thing, it's worth it. Just because it's ease of mind.
And I look at things like in the future as well. So for me, it's like these folks, if they go to sell this property, they're going to use us, number one. So that's the real estate, the brokerage side, our team side. And then also, this is like really, they're going to tell our story to other people. So if there becomes another buyer that, hey, I can only afford $300,000, and there's really nothing livable on the market.
Yep.
Hey, talk to Shannon, talk to Andrew. Here's what they did for us, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like that's going to serve us well in the future.
It's another business opportunity too, like another future business we could start.
Yep.
Bringing us your clients, we can find and flip a home, and they can give them some input on design, and probably need a little more money down, but non-refundable money down in case they don't want to purchase. But it is a good little, especially with, like you're saying, with the housing prices spiking.
Right.
It's a good little niche to get in.
Yeah. One of the hardest things I think for like us right now, for Andrew and I, is we really want to have rentals.
Yeah.
And we just can't seem to find rentals right now. And so one of the things we talked about this weekend was like, okay, we just don't need to force it, right? Like, if a deal comes our way, whatever it is if it's a rental, we go with it. If it is a flip, we go with it.
Yep.
We don't necessarily want to turn down a deal or an opportunity just because we really want to have rentals. But it is funny that we are struggling to get rentals. So we only have the one right now, and even that one we might end up selling to the current renter.
She's such a good runner.
She's a great renter. She wants to buy. So, and that property will prove to be a challenge if we have to sell it, because it has a driveway that's like straight up.
Yeah. She wants to buy it.
Yeah, so if we can sell it, we'll sell it.
Even that one was what were we all in, was $160?
Yeah.
And probably sell it for $250.
Yep.
So I mean, that one's a nice little.
Yeah, that one's pretty.
That one's a nice little investment.
So we've done decent on our flips and our projects thus far. That is one thing I think we talked about a long time ago, is in real estate, I've never lost money. Like, even when the market crashed, I have never lost money. Yes, I had to set myself up to be able to be a landlord versus a flipper, and that was a struggle, but I never went broke, never lost money. Oh, and then we kind of said, technically on the Rome project, we lost money.
But I mean, you're always. I mean, I'm sure you've had other houses that you put offers in and lost earnest money or lost inspection money and stuff like that. That doesn't really.
Yeah, that goes back to that whole. I'd rather lose a little money than a lot of money. Yeah. So you do your inspections, you do your appraisals, you do your surveys, whatever it is. Do all of that, and if you end up having to terminate, you lose a couple of $1,000s, but at least you didn't buy it and have to tear the house down because you're encroaching. That was loud. Good night. So I think that's, a lesson that you kind of have to learn in real estate. You do have to have a little money there to help you through all of the inspections and stuff. Hard money, definitely what we've been utilizing the most recently for the flips, just because it's easy.
Makes the most sense.
Quick.
It's worth the paying $15,000 in holding costs.
Yes.
To save $70,000 in our pocket. Because now we can do Winfield and Southland and another property at the same time.
Right.
Even before Shady Dale closes. So right. I mean, it's just more. You'd rather pay 15 to 20 grand to be able to do that.
Right. You want to keep liquid as much as you can and use other people's money.
I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do with all the money when Shady Dale closes.
I'm gonna buy a hot tub for my cabin.
There you go.
I'm gonna furnish my cabin. But yeah, so I think investments in general are really, really wise. And if you are a consumer and you're thinking, hey, I think I'd like to flip, I think I'd like to maybe buy a rental, definitely look us up, give us a call. We do not mind helping.
One thing, partner with you if like we were going to do an algorithm. We were going to partner with a couple that wanted to do one.
Right.
Property didn't work out, but it's other things that, hey, we can help you. We have a good system in place.
Right. And if you just have funds, we do a little bit of crowdfunding as well. Crowdfunding is how we're doing the majority of the lake house. It's hard money and crowdfunding. So we try to open this up to people that want to invest, but they only have $5, $10, $15, $20,000. Because when you do the crowdfunding type investment, you get to participate. You get to see how it all works. You get to, one, make money on your liquid cash that you have available. But I think it's a great learning experience too. Like we have on this one, I think 3 or 4 investors that have never done a project by themselves. Now they're going to get to learn and watch this project grow and morph and see how it works basically, and they're going to make 15% on their money on this project. So
you literally can't make in any other account out there.
Yeah, you can't make that on the market right now in any hedge or mutual funds or anything like that. So I think it's good for those that want to learn and want to be investors eventually. So something that we're passionate about, we really enjoy doing. So if you're kind of in that market and you're thinking about it, give us a call. Like Andrew said, we would, if the numbers made sense, we'll partner with you. If you don't want to take all that risk, all that liability, think of reaching out to us. All right. Well, I guess that's a good on flipping for today, and then we'll keep you updated on the Flip Chronicles throughout the next few months, and keep you updated and show you how they're all going.
Yeah. Hopefully, have a couple more to talk about.
Hopefully we'll have a rental.
Maybe one or two.
All right. We're out. Bye.